Today, I want to talk about verbs that can have more than one meaning. You will often hear English speakers use verbs in more than one way, and let's start first of all with the verb to run. Now, run can have two meanings. The first meaning is what we often think of, that's physical activity. Like, he runs the 1600 meters in the Olympics, or the children run in the park. I run every day after work to keep fit. That's the most common way that people use run. But in English, we also use run to talk about how a machine operates. For example, his car runs very badly right now. But after he goes to the mechanic, his car runs very well. You might say, my computer has been running a bit slowly. So you see, there are so many ways that you can use that. Now, another verb that we often use in English in two ways is the verb to get. Now, the first meaning means to obtain something. Like, I get food at the restaurant every day during lunch. Or I got, let's go to the past tense, I got my diploma in high school. I got my degree at university. So we're obtaining things, we're getting things. You might use that in the command form. Get me a pen, please. Now, the next way that we can use that verb means to arrive. You will often hear English-speaking friends say, what time are you going to get here? And we all know that on a road trip, when we're going somewhere, the kids will always ask, what time will we get there? What time does the train get here? What time does the plane get to the airport? Okay? So, to obtain something and to arrive. Two meanings of get. Now, the verb to take also has more than one meaning. Take, the first one we think of is to take. To remove something. Take. I take the book out of my backpack. I take the food out of the refrigerator. I take my friends somewhere. Take can also have the meaning to follow a route. Now, for those of you who might say, route? Well, R-O-U-T-E, route, or if you're listening to a British English speaker, you will probably hear the word route. But the word route, R-O-U-T-E, Americans might pronounce it route or route. It will just depend on the person and perhaps the region that you're in. So for example, I take this route to go to school. You might ask, what route do I take to go to the football stadium? So take can obviously mean to remove something or to follow a path or a route. Now, another verb that we use in more than one way in English is the verb to fall. To fall. If I get too close to the edge, I might fall. If I let go of the cup, it will fall to the floor and break. So that's the first meaning of to fall. Now, we also use this verb when we're talking about the economy and prices. For example, the prices have fallen at the store? Probably not. We want prices to fall, but nowadays they aren't falling. Okay? So if something is falling, you don't want your grades to fall, for example. You want prices to fall, but you don't want your grades to fall. So fall can have two meanings. To descend, something falls on the floor. My pen falls on the table, and prices could fall, but we don't want our grades to fall, right? Now, there's another verb in English that we use every day, and this verb can have two meanings as well: to grasp or to contain, and that's the verb hold. For example, I hold my pen when I write. I grasp it, I hold it. I hold the baby until it goes to sleep. Okay, so we have something in our hands, we hold it. Now, to hold could also mean to contain something. So, for example, the Louvre Museum in Paris holds countless works of art. Our science book holds a lot of scientific knowledge. Maybe we've got a really smart friend and their brain holds a lot of information. Our computer can hold a lot of information. So hold is another one of those verbs that has two meanings. Remember, hold, to grasp something, hold it in our hands, or the meaning can be hold as in contain something. The museum holds art, or that river holds dangerous crocodiles. Don't swim in it. Okay? Now, there's another verb that we use probably every day, and I'm sure you know this verb, and that's the verb to go. And it has two meanings that we often employ, and the first one is to move. For example, if I get up and go over there, I get up and go to the other room. I go to school every day, or I go to work every day. She goes to the park with her children every morning. So, to move around somewhere. The train goes to Paris. Now, we know that one, but you'll often hear English speakers use the verb go when they're talking about a sound, making a sound. We often use this instead of using the verb said or to say. Say, says, said, in all these meanings. For example, she said, or he says, or he goes, hey, come with me. We also use it when we're talking about what something sounds like. So, for example, the machine goes, or the trumpet goes, bum, 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 bum. Okay? Or the explosion went, we're going to the past tense now, the explosion went boom. Okay? So, to make a sound or to move, these are the two ways that we can use the verb to go. So, remember, we've got several verbs that we can use in more than one way. Give it a shot. Try to practice using these in the ways that I've taught you today. So to run, to get, to take, to fall, to hold, and to go.